Hello, hello, hello. I have not filmed a YouTube video in forever and a day, but this year I have decided to participate in Dephemerember. Louisa Hensel and 49 Dragonflies here on YouTube are hosting it, and it's a monthly challenge prompt idea. Do believe this is the 4th year that they're doing it. I've been knowing about it for a few years now, but this is the first year that I am participating in it. I'm super excited, especially since I haven't done a lot of junk journaling in the past month or so. This is the prompt list. You can go to their website. Really, you can just Google Dephemerember and the website will pop up and it'll give you everything that you need there. They have merch and everything. These are two of my favorite creators on YouTube. I do have a list, but I watch their stuff and get inspiration from them a lot. So this will be the journal that I am working in for this year. I did not do a swap because November was just insane for me, so I was unable to do that, but I did make my own journal. So I have a lovely patchwork journal that we'll be working on, and we're gonna start on the prompts. So this year they are taking the weekends off since December is a very busy month for most people. So it's every day of the week. So Monday through Friday is a prompt, a different prompt. And the first prompt is altered playing cards and antique keys. I'm going to do something, probably the plan right now is to do something fairly simple for this. So I'm just starting off with I just pulled these out of a deck of cards that I have laying around. I got them from their store. They're from a hotel here in Orlando. Doesn't mean anything to me. So when you're working with playing cards, most of the time, especially newer ones, they have a very slick finish. So if you're trying to work on these, as far as like gluing things down and painting and different mediums and stuff like that, if you're just sticking tape and stickers on here, you shouldn't have a problem. But if you're going to do any type of like wet media or anything like that, I do suggest either sanding the cards. This is a sander I got from Tim Holtz sander, I do believe. Right, so you just kind of give them a little scrubby scrub like that. And I guess now that I'm doing one, I may as well do them all. You don't have to have anything this technical, right? You can just pick up some sanding paper at the Dollar Tree, or if you have some in the garage, or your hubby or partner has some in the garage, go steal a piece. It doesn't need to be a big piece. And you just sand to get that roughness that's needed to have things adhere and stick a little bit better. Even if you're going to use tape and stickers, if you just want if you want more sticking power, it's always a good idea to do something like this, or use some type of like matte medium or Mod Podge or something like that. I'm going to just use Liquitex Basic acrylic matte medium, matte fluid medium. You could always do collage matte medium. Oops, I hit my lamp. My bad. Once again, you can just Mod Podge, Elmer's glue on top of it, just to give yourself a good start, right? And if you've been junk journaling and arting for a while, sorry. If you already know this information, go ahead and put me on mute. put me on mute and fast forward while I do this. I have no problems with that at all. You know, but every once in a while we'll get a newbie through and they don't know all of this information. So I like to throw out all of the tips and tricks that I know for anyone new watching. I also should have given like a sound warning for this, so my bad. I really didn't plan on doing that. Did not plan on doing that part of it. All right, so now I'm just gonna wipe them off. This also does help with that distressed look, right? A lot of us like distressed aging. Allergies. We all like that distressed aging look most of the time, so this will help with that as well. So I am going to do this very okay, maybe. Yep, I use my teeth. Okay, it's mine. It's mine. I can do that. I'm not thinking about this. This is literally just to get this coated quickly. I will do the front and the back side because we will be working on the front and the back side. But of course you have to do one side at a time. If you want smoother brush marks, that's totally okay. I kind of like having more of a texture dried whenever I'm done with these, because once again, right, we texture, inking, stamping, all of that stuff adds to the decorating process. So if you can already get textures in there while you're prepping your cards for decorating, why not? Okay, so you see I just put a couple of daubs of matte medium there, and I brush it out easily. I like to pick them, like, I am using my mat, but I still like to pick them up, especially when I know I'm going to be working a good bit on my mat. I don't want to clean in the process. No, I'll clean after. I don't want to clean beforehand, okay? Okay. I'm just going to stick that in my water, and I'm going to bring out my little drying tool to help with this. Even though I do have my heater on today, I'm in Central Florida. It's in the 60s today. It feels even cooler than that. I'm anemic. I'm cold, so you probably do hear the humming of my little heater on the floor. My apologies. This should dry fairly quickly. Another little pro tip: when you're drying something, try to dry it from the front and the back to prevent any of that warping. I am doing 4 of these because, yes, I do have my one Dephemerember journal, that specific one that I showed you, but I do have a few journals right now that I have already made and they're not decorated, and I want to decorate them. So I'm actually going to use this as a mask making project for myself. So I'm going to try to do multiples of the prompts every day so that I can work on a few journals at a time. Once again, I haven't really done much journaling or creating in the past month. We all got sick here. Alright, so that's not dry enough. Do I care? Yes, I do. So we all got sick here at the beginning of November, and we stayed sick until like the 24th or something like that. So I could not do much. But I think I'm back. I think things are settling down for now. And I'm going to try to do the best that I can and be creative and keep up with this prompt list for the whole month of December. Alright, and now I'm going to do the back side. Once again, if you don't want to see this, go ahead and fast forward. I don't mind. You can put me on mute and just watch me in the background. Normally when I watch YouTube videos these days, I change the speed. So if you did not know that, you could. So if you're watching someone who's a little bit of a slow talker, a little bit of a slow worker, and they have an hour video, and you don't want to spend an hour on watching the video, you can go ahead and hit that little button. It's like playback speed. I will normally do 1.25 or 0.5 speed playback. It depends on who it is. If they're a really fast talker, then whoop, it's the really fast talker. Sometimes doing that is a little bit rough. So yeah, but that is an option, and I think it is a great option. I know we don't all have 15 hours a day to watch everybody on YouTube. So it's a good alternative to try to get in and watch and support the people that you like watching and you enjoy watching create and all of that stuff. Yeah, I might have to take a break already because my voice, I feel, is getting a little bit strained ever since I got sick. It does this to me. Oh, I totally forgot to put my music in the background, so that if I had any quiet moments, you still had something to listen to. It's also a good idea, like if you plan on cutting these at all, get the sides really well, because these are layers of papers, right, that's kind of stacked on each other. So if you start cutting into it and start really like messing with them, they could come, they could start to get frayed and come undone and things like that. So if you get the edges, that'll help keep everything nice and glued together, and you won't have to worry about that. So I had planned on covering the back of these up, but now that I did this little distressing, I don't know if I'm going to, because it does say Orlando on it, and I live in Orlando. I may keep that because it's, you know, a little personalized for me. So yeah, we will see. But that, it's not much of a texture on there. It doesn't add a lot or anything like that, because I didn't use a lot of matte medium. But you can feel it. You can definitely feel that the surface is a bit rougher. And it is nice and prepped to take on watercolor, inks, gels, embossing, sprays. I mean, you name it, and that's it. It's pretty much ready for it. I don't know where I'm going from here. So I'm gonna grab a couple of things and I will be right back. Alright, so I am back. I pulled out a couple of things. These are some thank you for celebrating with us tags that I got. And I don't use them for celebrating with us anymore. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try to incorporate these. I got some vintage pattern paper, which this is actually a pattern that was already cut out. So I just grabbed a few pieces. And then I got some pre-cut number die cuts. I'm also wondering if I want to use an embossing folder on my playing cards. Let me think about that. Okay, I thought about it. No. I just I don't feel like taking out my emboss. Like, I want to, but I don't feel like taking out my embossing folder at the moment. My embossing machine. So we're just not gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and start with a layer of pattern paper. And for this, I do believe I'm just gonna go ahead and use some Mod Podge. Let me see, is this Mod Podge? No. This Mod Podge? Maybe. Yeah, I'm spelling it. Because I know these, it's either Elmer's glue or Mod Podge. So, open, I need to shake that up. And you might think, okay, well, you put your fluid medium down there and now you're gonna go and cover it with Mod Podge again. So the reason I'm covering it with Mod Podge right now is to stick down my paper, right? The reason I used my matte medium beforehand was to give myself a good surface to start with so that anything I add here will stick well. The last thing you do is want to make something and it goes to someone or yourself, and then, you know, 2 months time, 3 months time, things are starting to pill up and not adhering. And if you're gonna go and stick on layer after layer and layer here, you definitely want to make sure your adhesion is good. The fun thing about using pattern paper, a couple of things. First of all, it's fairly cheap paper to get your hands on. It already has that brown color that we mostly love. And it's also transparent, so you can see whatever you put behind it for the most part as well. I do work a little bit messy, right? I'm okay with the blobs and the globs and all of that stuff. If you are not, you can be a little bit more precise with things. Totally your call. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna wrinkle this up first of all. And I'm going to bring two of these a little bit closer together because I want this wrinkled, okay? I want there to be texture. So, just going to go ahead and lay this down on the top of both of them and let it dry. And do the same thing for that one. Once again, well, not once again, but once again, I am, you know, mass making ephemera with these. So I am going to try to do methods that are quick and easy for me to be able to knock 4 of these out within a reasonable amount of time. Oh, I really like these. Okay, so I'm going to spread this a little bit further apart because I do want this writing and this writing on both of these. So I'm going to go ahead and start at the bottom with this one, and then bring down like that. And then bring out the heating gun. If you want to just rip these, you probably can. Give me a sec. Let me wipe off the back because there's a little bit of wetness going on there. I don't want anything to stick on the back anyway. Alright, so yeah, you could probably tear this. I'm just going to pull out some scissors and give this a rough chop. I'm going to leave a little bit of an overhang in case I want to bring this paper in a little bit more. Probably not going to, but whatever. And chop right there. I'm going to get the other one. Don't throw this away because you can still use that. This is probably one of the quickest and easiest and most cost-effective ways to age something. Pattern paper. Once again, it already has that color of aging. All right. I am going to add another layer of glue on top just to make sure any of these little creases here is nice and glued down. Something else, like if you really don't like how the creases are laying, or you want them to look a little bit more of a specific way, you can go in and still manipulate these. I find that and that's also why it's a good idea to leave a little bit of an edge. If you come in and start manipulating things around, it will expose that card fairly quickly. So and this is just my brush. I did not clean it off, so I'm just using whatever glue Mod Podge is on there for now. You should not need a lot of glue or Mod Podge to get this stuck down. But also, anytime you're going to do some type of like collage, mixed media, you're going to use a good amount of glue I'm going to get this all done. I'm going to pause this time while I do the drying because I do want this to be dried fairly well. Just so that my next layer won't stick to it while I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Because once again, unplanned. Yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to do this. I knew what the prompt was, but as far as like what I wanted to do with decorating and techniques, things like that, I had no earthly idea where this was gonna go. Seriously, none. I do recommend that if you are gonna use layering, like this type of layering method, just make sure that it is as flat as you can get it, because if you do add stuff on top, it may be a little bit difficult depending on what you're gonna add. Okay, I will be right back and this will be all dried. Okay, so I decided to come back here for another little tip with collaging. Also remember when you're doing your layers, kind of think about it, right? You see here I'm using my heat tool a good bit to dry these layers, right? So if you're going to start sticking stickers on here and then you're going to use some more glue to collage something down, it's a very well-known secret, not secret, but a little tip that if you use heat on stickers, it will reduce the adhesiveness, right? So if you're going to add stickers, let that be the last thing you add. Or once you add it, know that you need to let things air dry and not use your heat gun, because that heat will loosen up that adhesive. Now, if you want to put glue on the back of your sticker, totally cool. I will fussy cut myself. I will put it on some type of paper, fussy cut it, and then I'll use glue to adhere it. But if you're not going to do that, you're trying to do things quickly, remember adding heat will allow that sticker to peel off a little bit more easily. So I'm going to continue drying and I'll be back. Okay, everything is dry. And I've decided that I want to, sorry, noise, distress these edges a bit. And when I say distress, I'm not talking about necessarily inking them, and I will, but I don't want these corners and the sides to be so even. So you can do what I'm doing. Once again, taking some type of sanding apparatus or sandpaper and just running it through here. I do believe Tim Holtz Ranger has a distressing tool as well. It's like a blade and a plastic thing. You could totally do that. Another thing that I've realized is just maybe making those edges a little bit rougher. Those corners, not so. Actually, we're just gonna go ahead and cut some of them massively, and then I'll take my scissors and kind of just go in and mess up that line, just to really mess up that straight line. Right, altered playing cards, so we're gonna alter them up. Just to you know, make it look different. That's what altering something does. It, you know, it makes it look different. Don't have to do this. You could even just fold in the edges, and that would work as well. You don't have to do any of this at all. You could just use your ink. But I felt like doing this. So that's what we're gonna do. And these cards are a little bit on the smaller side already. Most playing cards are like 2.5 by 3, and these are a little bit thinner than that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Also, coming in now with this, it will just kind of help make those harsh cuts a little bit more organic looking. This card still feels a little bit wet, so I'm just gonna place it in front of my little heater down there while I do the other ones. Right, so when you make the cuts, it's very, very blunt. So coming in here, with these and just messing it all up, make it look more like, you know, it's old naturally. Not like it's done in 2024. Again, I did this one first. But then I cut around it, so let's just go in and hit it again. Okay. Alright, so I decided that I'm going to color these, paint these, decorate these using my distress crayons. There may be some people who are out there tired of seeing my distress crayons, but when I tell you I absolutely love these, and I do feel like I kind of use the same colors a lot, but I only have 4 packs. Okay. So, yeah, you're going to see the same colors over and again. But I'm just going to come in and make some marks randomly-ish. And then we squirt it down with water, and there's going to be more drying. And this is why it always takes me so long to create stuff, because I use a lot of these wet techniques, and when you're layering a lot of this, you know, like you do 3 or 4 layers of these things, the process takes a while. The drying, the wetting, the drying, the wetting, the layering of it all. It's a lot. So if you don't know what these are the Distress Crayons by Ranger Tim Holtz. And they're pretty much water soluble crayons. They almost feel like a lipstick when you pull them out. And you can pretty much draw on just about anything and then wet it and use your finger or a paintbrush, whatever you want, and it kind of works as like a watercolor. Now, this did kind of like reactivate my glue again. My glue, right? My Mod Podge, Elmer's, whatever was under here. PVA glue, water-based glue. It's gonna do that. That's normal. Also, you gotta kind of trust the process here. You kind of just need to play and then let things dry and then play again. And I like always bring red in here just to give it a little bit of pop. These reds are absolutely stunning. Not a lot, because like a little bit of this goes such a long way. Also, if you're using these, using them on paper with like collage matte medium, some type of, oh my god, what is the word? I've already used this word like 20 times today. You want to make sure your paper is protected, because when you put this on just straight paper, the color really gets absorbed into the fibers of the paper. So you want to put down some type of protectant, matte medium, gesso, yes, gesso, anything like Mod Podge, glue, whatever. Put that down first and then use this, because you will you'll get staining really on the paper, and the pigment doesn't move around as much. So I'm gonna wet this again to get that moving around a little bit, that red color going. Okay, and then we're gonna dry, and I'm gonna go ahead and start that drying process. Actually, wait, we're gonna spritz some like gold, maybe some white and black on here as well. Try to get all of this drying done at one time. And so that was tarnished brass. This is black soot, if I'm not mistaken. Then we're going to do picket fence, and then we're going to dry. And most of this, I do believe, will dry opaque, so we still will be able to see some of the playing card underneath. So I'm gonna get to drying and I'll be back. Okay, so they're nice and dried. The cool thing is the back side is also getting distressed as I work on these. I'm okay with the back side looking like that. They are a bit dark for me. That's okay. I am going to try to brighten them up with this Hero Wax in white. It's a metallic wax-based paste. And it says, for mixed media, vintage, paper, and more, dries permanently on most surfaces. Spread and let dry. Again, drying. Oh god, that's like the worst part of doing this. Just like having to wait for everything to dry. Right? So you see, like, once again, I've not used this much at all. I think maybe I used it to like swatch it, but that was about it. This does feel different than like a gilding paste. This has more of a glue consistency for me than a gilding wax. So just maybe just add like a little bit to your finger, and then you just kind of lightly rub. It'll grab some of the raised textures and just lighten it up a good bit. Don't need too much. A lot of this does go a long way. Of course, if you like it that dark, that's totally okay too. This does seem to dry fairly quickly on my hand. I don't know if I really like this, to be honest. And that's also probably why I haven't used it yet. Because like I said, it's different from like a gilding paste. Oh, let me see if I can wipe some of that off. That went a little bit cuckoo there. I guess the good thing is that it does dry fast, so that's, depending on how you look at it, could be a pro or a con. It does seem like it would layer very well on top of each other. And in some of the light, it does look more metallic than you can probably pick up on camera. And as you can see, I'm literally just picking up from the lid. I'm not even dipping my finger in there or anything. So this would last probably a while, depending on how you use it, of course. If you use it full-on projects bigger than this, then maybe it'll go quicker. But yeah, and that definitely did the trick. I was going to use my gilding paste. I think it's in like bronze or something. But I saw this one first and I was like, you know what? Let's give it a go because I haven't used it yet. I think I got this on sale from Joann's or maybe Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of going around the edges a little bit more, making the edges a little bit thicker in some places because working with this a little bit more. I'm liking a little bit of a thicker edge because once again, it just kind of brightens things up and makes everything else pop out at you. When creating, you really do want that light and dark balance. You know, that's why lighting and shadows so so important in the creative world, in the art world. You see that dries so weird. Look at that. Just crumbling off. It's so gray. Alright, we're gonna call that a day. I don't think this is gonna take much drying at all. And I'm hoping that the amount of time that I had this open didn't dry out too much of this either. So I'm gonna hit it with my heat gun for a couple of minutes. There's a close-up of what this is. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I did a little bit of thinking and trying to figure out where I wanted to go with this. You know, in the beginning of the video, I said I took out these die cut numbers. I have small ones, and then I have these kind of like scoreboard type numbers. I thought putting the two together would be really, really fun, so I just kind of laid them out roughly. And then I have tags that I made forever ago on a TikTok live. I'm sorry, not tags, tickets that I thought would go really, really well with this. I know I took out the tags, but I was looking over the prompt list in between crafting here, and tags is actually on tomorrow's prompt. So we're not gonna do the tags. We're gonna go tickets instead. So I'm gonna grab all of these green ones and get those out of the way first. I know I'm not gonna add any green in there. So I have some that are plain. Maybe get those out of the way too, because I definitely think I want a more decorated one. And I think I kind of like these lighter ones, because once again, it'll just kind of pop. These might be too big, so I think we're gonna use strips of these. I like this size a lot. Yeah, I think these are all too dark. These were very, very easy to make. I might have a video on here somewhere on how I made these, but I don't know, maybe I need to make another one. This may have been for a subscriber only live over on TikTok, so I'm not sure really. I'm not sure. So, all right. So the prompt is altered playing card and antique key. Now, my thought was just put on an antique charm key, right? That's gonna be the easiest thing. We all add charms to our stuff anyway. But I know I kind of want to make it kind of like interactive as well, right? So let me see. All right, I have a 4-pack here, right? So let's see. That just fades kind of like too much into the background of this one. I really do like the look of it. I kind of want to do like an interactive cluster. Let me see. Would this way be better? We're gonna just play here, kind of let the imagination run a little wild at the moment. I know I had this up there, but it's okay for now. I don't... So I was thinking of how I can use the key as kind of like a closure, whether it's like a lobster claw or something like that. Super, you know, like easy to kind of like make this detachable. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it in the time frame that I have for myself. Once again, I can get very, very into this and kind of just let my imagination run wild, especially with this, trying to make this interactive, yada, yada, yada. So I'm also giving myself a time frame to create these for. I want to keep it at about an hour-ish, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, but about an hour. And I think we're like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or something coming from that. Because it's an hour filming time, right? It's not the drying, it's not all of that stuff. So it really does take more than an hour to actually do all of this project right now. So I'm trying. I don't want to add a hinge. I don't know. I just might go ahead and just grab a ticket and just make a little cluster and go with that for now. Because like I said, time limits are our friends. It's okay to put time limits on ourselves. You know, I'm a mom too. So, you know, dinner, bath, all of that stuff does have to happen in a day. So I don't have all day to sit here and be finicky with my creations, as much as that's exactly what I would love to do. I just don't have it. I don't have that luxury anymore. And now that I'm thinking about this, I think I want to cover up this black a lot. Okay. And then I would put a little keychain dangle somewhere. Not a little keychain, like a little key dangle somewhere. Okay. So yeah, when you're trying to do like little clusters like this, just kind of play around with placement. I'm probably gonna have to glue something down right now to get myself to just commit to it, because that's the type of person I am. If for whatever reason I finish these up in the time that I allotted and I'm like, oh, something's still missing, I want to add something else, you know, it's very easy to add in a little butterfly or dragonfly or little person sticker or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm not gonna glue all of this down. I'm only gonna probably glue on like 2 sides so that it can become like a little tuck spot as well. When I'm doing like my little clusters and playing cards and stuff like that, you know, the more things you can use it for, the better, in my opinion. In my personal opinion. Right, and then we're going to glue down the 1. Also with the 1, I'm going to only glue down here and the bottom part. Because if it's going to be used as a tuck spot, this might get moved on. And then my letter, my number 4. Okay. And I definitely recommend playing with laying things down in, you know, not a straight way, just kind of like playing with how something is laying down. I like these at the top. Okay. That might be a 6, but guess what? It's all good. It is all good. And if you're also trying to like use it as a tuck spot, just kind of keep in mind where things are being placed, right? If you're going to use it as a tuck spot, you don't maybe want to put it too far to the top or anything like that. You may want to more centered or to the bottom, to the left or to the right. Like this might be a little bit of a stretch for a tuck spot, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to glue my 9 down first because I'm okay with it being there. Another tip, glue, well, hold the side that you don't want glued down. And that way you glue it the right way. So my tweezers is on this side because I don't want to glue on this side. I'm using TSS Art Glue. It's on Amazon. This glue is amazing. I honestly cannot even explain how amazing it is. I tell everybody about this glue. I do have it on my Amazon storefront. I am an Amazon associate, so I do get a little kickback if you guys get something from there. From my storefront. This glue, it's a PVA glue, and I have not used art glitter glue yet, but I did use I've used Barely Art glue, and I can tell you I like this one so much better than Barely Art. I also have red line or red cap. I can't remember right now because I don't use it that much. But a friend of mine told me about red line, and I went ahead and grabbed it, and it's kind of expensive for what you get. And it warped my paper big time. So this friend of mine, she was really into scrapbooking, and then she got into junk journaling. And apparently a lot of scrapbookers use this glue. So what I think is it's just meant to maybe be used on a heavier cardstock. So using it, for example, for what I'm doing right now, like my little paper letters, it would not have gone well. I would have been fairly upset, I am sure, because it warps the paper so badly, unfortunately. But TSS Art, I have not had a problem with it at all. Anyone I recommend it to, they grab it and they are extremely surprised with it. And yeah, it's really a good glue with great value. So like hold on, because I want to make sure I'm gluing this correctly. For like 8 ounces, I think it's like $6 or $7, I think. And then for like 16 ounces, it's like 10 or something maybe. This is going to be a little bit hard because there's so much texture on this one specific card. But it's okay, just press it down. And once this glue sticks and dries, it's stuck and dried. I use this on fabric. I use this for everything. And it's amazing glue. There's no smell to it. Like I said, it dries fairly quickly. Unless I go overboard with this, it typically does not warp my papers at all. Alright, so now all I need to do is pull out some charms and add my key, and we're going to be done. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and leave the back. It is very rough looking. I don't care, because once again, like, we literally rough everything up in this realm. But not only that, if whoever gets this doesn't like the back, then they have something to play with, right? They have something that they can go in and create from my creations. So what we got here, little tuck spots, which I actually do have some mini tags. I'll probably go ahead and put them on here. They're smaller than these, I do believe, so they probably fit really, really well there. So that's what a tuck spot is. You just tuck things in and it'll sit there nice and neatly. Okay. I've been having these numbers cut out for like ages and I don't use it. These tags, I've probably been having these tags for a year. I haven't used it. That's the great thing about Dephemerember, is that, you know, you can use these things that you made and you haven't used yet. So I'm going to grab some jump rings and some keys and I will be right back. Okay, so I got my keys. These are some of my mini antique looking keys. And I was thinking about using jump rings, but I'm going to use something different. Because, why not? Why not? Let me grab. So I have this really fun metallic embroidery thread. So I was like, you know what, why not tie it on there with that? I have a good amount of these little antique key charms. I don't know if I have any in this specific one because this is a new pack that I hadn't gone through yet. When I say new pack, I mean I've been having it for God knows how many months and I just haven't gone through and, oh, separated it yet. But that is a little charm there, a little key one. We're going to keep that for something else. And of course, if I wanted to use more than one charm, I could. That doesn't go there. Okay. Because I don't know what colors I want to go with yet. Okay, but it is antique key, so I think I'm gonna go with those because they have that like green color to them that makes them kind of look older. So, in these little boxes, they're different size keys. So these are like my medium size, and then I have like thing for larger keys. And then these are the smaller charms that I have. But I didn't want to use any of those because, I don't know, I just didn't like them. Alright, so we got the bronze going. So I don't know, I guess I'll continue with the bronze. Theme happening. Okay. Sorry, you gotta watch me put these little things back in. I'm tired right now. I did a live earlier on TikTok where I kind of I finished putting together my journal, which really was just sewing the signatures together and then sticking it into the cover because it's a what is that thing called? Travel style journal. So yeah. All right, let me see. Now, I do want to use an eyelet. However, I don't want to use a big one. I want to use one of my the smaller ones that I have. And those are kind of all like pastel-y colors. So we may have a little pop of color in here somehow. We're gonna see what color I like best. I don't know. Yellow is kind of popping out to me. Pink. I mean, I suppose I could do multiple colors because these will be going in different journals. I don't like blue. I think maybe yellow and pink would probably be the two. Those could work actually. Yep, let's go with that little light teal color because it kind of goes with the greens that are in the key. So let's do that. I'm putting this back into like a drawer space, and I'm kind of doing it blind, so okay. We use the small. Do I want to put it up there? No, I'm gonna put it at the bottom, I think. Do I want to put it at the bottom or on the side? The bottom, the side. So here's what I'm thinking, right? If we use this for a tuck spot, if I put it here, it might, I don't know. All right, so we'll put it over here. I might be getting a little quiet, the ending here. My voice feels a little bit funky. Like I said, I'm getting tired. Okay, and literally all I'm gonna do is grab a piece of string and then grab this, and we're gonna tie it off. Do I want it like that? Yeah, we're gonna do this. Once again, sometimes like, if you're like me, just, you know, just make the decision and do it. Don't sit here and beat yourself up about it and try to contemplate 5,000 other ways that you're gonna do this, or that you could do it, or could it be better. You know, we're meant to be enjoying this. You know, some of us use this as therapy, de-stressing. So don't be overcritical with yourself. Enjoy the process. sometimes your work will need to be done with keeping time constraints and life in mind, and that's that's what we have to do. And I actually do like that. It gives it just a little pop of color and shine. Okay, let's carry on. Alrighty, and this one is up here, so I think this key will go down here. And I like, I've been using my Crocodile, especially my handheld one, for quite some time now. That's the, where did it go? Okay, I found it. They're definitely kind of like, you want to play with it and get your feel for how it works best for you. I like putting my eyelet in there and then taking my Crocodile and putting it like that and then smash it down. That's just how I like doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of them. Oh no! I used the big side. Ah! That means I'm gonna have to get a new eyelet. Dang nabbit. It's okay. Actually, I think I might have one sitting on my desk somewhere. I probably fell on the floor and I picked it up and I just left it there. That happens a lot. Because, these things have a mind of their own. They just want to fly. Alrighty. Let me see if I can find one here. My son was playing up here with me the other day too, so he may have knocked it on. Nope, here we go. And guess what? I'm using whatever color it is because it is what it is. Okay, so I have my eyelet in. Take this. Okay. Put my Crocodile away. Nope. Also, when you're gonna tie something off and you kind of have a smaller piece of string to work with, grab those tweezers. Make your life easy. Easier. Don't complicate it. There we go. Alright, so that one and that one is done. Moving on, moving on. So, yeah, the next prompt is layered tag and retro film strip. I don't know if I have a retro film strip at all. We got some fraying there. Just chop it off. Oh. Also, sometimes if it's easier to just waste an inch of string rather than spending time trying to get a good tie. Just, you know, these things, even at Michael's, you can get them for like, I don't know, a buck or two. I'm not saying to be wasteful, but like I said, we've got to keep in mind the time for what type of life we have as well. Can't all be crafts, and it's not always arts and crafts all day long, right? It's sometimes, for some of us, it's got to be a little bit more than that. And this is going to be it. But once again, I'm a very firm believer, if I take a step away from this and I come back here tomorrow and I'm like, oh yeah, that will look amazing here too, I will grab whatever that is and I will add that to the sucker so fast. Art can be never ending. Creating can be never ending. Once again, that's why you have to put that time frame on it. Let me get this out of the way. And I hope to God I hit play. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, did you hit play? Did I not necessarily play, but record? Let me turn this down. Yes, we are recording. I'm at 1 hour and 17 minutes. Let's zoom in a little bit. So here we go. Here's my first prompt for Dephemerember. Altered playing card and vintage key. And there are little tuck spots. And I made 4 because I'm doing multiple journals. I have some sitting around that haven't been worked on yet, so I am using my time wisely and using this challenge to my advantage. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And if you are participating in Dephemerember, let me know, and I'll try to go and watch your video too. Thanks so much for being here. Finger hearts. Bye.